Hey, welcome back, gang. So let's talk about constructing and testing a prototype. You did this last year when you made your CO2 cars. Um, when we made the CO2 cars, we kind of ran some of these steps together probably because your prototype was your pretty much your final solution, mainly because we didn't have time to do another one. But you maybe wished, hey, I wish I could do this again. I would do something different. So that's a time thing where yeah, if it's a prototype, you can do it again and hopefully improve on it. And that's what we do when we do design work. So what is constructing and testing a prototype? Kind of just what it says. Construct a testable prototype, plan prototype testing. So how am I going to test this thing to make sure it works? Last year, we raced your cars, right? Performance. How fast was it? Some of you didn't care how fast it was. Some of you wanted to do a theme car that was cool looking. That's fine too. Usability. Okay? Is it usable? Does it do what we want it to do? Is it durable? Is it going to stand up? Is it going to last? And then how do we test this thing? We have to figure out a test and we have to collect data. So say you're making this for your boss at some point, or your boss is giving you a job. Hey, we got to solve this problem. We got to design something for this. You're going to have some data to say this thing actually works and it does what we want it to do. So then you got to analyze that test data. So in the construct and test a prototype box, let's shorten this up because this is a lot of information. Let's just say construct, plan, and test a prototype. We'll keep it simple. Construct, plan, and test prototype. Pause if you need to and get that in there. So construct, plan, and test a prototype. And what do we use to make this happen? We make a test report. That goes in the right-hand column on a construct and test prototype. So once you test it, you fill out a report. We didn't do a whole lot of a report last year. We wrote down times. So that was part of it. I did a report by looking at your CO2 card, see if you followed the criteria and constraints. And so then once you're done constructing and testing the prototype, you ask the question again, is the prototype valid? If the answer is no, oh, I moved my face out of in the way. If a testable prototype cannot be built or test data analysis indicates a flawed design, the designer must return to a previous step of the design process. So once again, you do this deal where we maybe go all the way back. You may get all the way to here. You generated this prototype and you tested and you went, whoa, our testing did not go well. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to go all the way back and we're going to go to where we generated concepts and look at our decision matrix and maybe try a different one. Okay? This happens all the time. Sometimes engineers, designers are working on things for years because they can't find the solution they want. If the answer is yes, now you go on to the fifth step, which is evaluate the solution. So now what would go and evaluate the solution? If you evaluate the solution's effectiveness, did it work? Reflect on design, recommend improvements. Are there improvements we can make to this thing without redesigning the whole darn thing? Optimize or redesign the solution. Okay, maybe you return to a prior design process step, or you revise what you got. Okay, you revise the documents so you make it a little bit different. Lots of times we 3D print something and we go, oh, this doesn't quite fit, this doesn't quite work. We're going to redesign this. So you go back and you change it just a little bit. So under evaluate the solution, let's go evaluate, reflect, and optimize the solution or the design. Evaluate, reflect, and optimize the design. Evaluate, reflect, optimize the design. Go ahead and pause if you need to. Then, what is the tool that we use on there? We make project recommendations. So this might be going to someone that needs this and they're actually going to produce it and you're designing it for them, you might say, hey, here's what we recommend and how we recommend you make this thing and go about it. So that would go on the right side of evaluate the solution. Okay, so I am going to stop this video again, and we're going to do one more video to finish this whole thing